There was tension in Lokoja and its environs on Thursday after residents and travelers panicked over what turned to be a false alarm of bandits' attack in the Kogi state capital. Arise News gathered that several primary and secondary schools hurriedly shut down, while major commercial areas were deserted. Some parents rushed to withdraw their children from school before closing hours. A viral video also showed students of Kogi State Polytechnic running for safety, but the rector of the Kogi State Polytechnic urged students and residents to remain calm and disregard the misinformation, describing it as a deliberate attempt to cause panic.
But we should caution people who raise false alarm to create panic, either for political reasons or whatsoever. It's not everything we should play politics about. You're playing politics even with the future of these children. And I think that is a politics taken too far. And I want to caution on politicians and those who are behind this type of irresponsible and reckless panic, button pressing kind of things. They should please desist from that.
Just a mere rumor. I think we got an information that some people were passing wrong information from the Zango Aziz to the students that bandits are coming, of which the school security, ably led by the rector of the Polytechnic, took a search and there is nothing like that. That confirmed that the information was false. So that leads to the students running towards the gate Aziz, of which after we check, we found that there is nothing.
Well, to discuss the directive ordering the withdrawal of police officers from VIP protection duties, as well as the planned recruitment of 50,000 additional personnel into the Nigerian police force, I am now joined by CP Emmanuel Ojukwu, retired. He was the former police public relations officer of the Nigerian police force. Thank you so much for being on Newsnight.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you.
So let's jump right into it. The Inspector General of Police today had a meeting with senior police officers where he revealed the total number of officers that have been withdrawn following the president's directive. He puts it at 11,566. And Nigerians are skeptical about that number. They believe it's way more than that. But when the IGP says they're just a little over 11,000, you were once in the force. From your experience, does that number really reflect reality of policemen attached to VIPs in this country?
Well, I'm not privy to what the IG said about the actual number of policemen.
He says they're 11,500.
Withdrawn or attached to
which have not been withdrawn.
Well, the figure could be a lot more than that, could be less. But I know there has to be an audit to know the actual figure. Now, there are many formations within the police that do assign policemen to and women to private individuals. You have the Special Protection Unit, you have even the Police Mobile Force, and then you have policemen in divisions and area commands and commands. So there has to be an audit to get the figure, actually. It may take some time. These directives have just been issued by the president, and the IG, being a very responsible senior officer, has gone ahead to begin to implement the directive. It will take some time to have the men return to General Police to begin to police the collective of Nigerians. So it's a work in progress, but the good thing is that the directive has been given for the first time that I remember, and for the first time the police are bringing their men and women back to core policing, to reach out to Nigerians who are actually their employers and not the VIPs, so to speak, who are personalizing them and using them as tools.
You know, another conversation from this presidential directive is who actually is a VIP in Nigeria? Because, you know, there's that big man mentality. Everybody's a VIP in some way. Who exactly qualifies as a VIP that gets the protection of the very limited few policemen?
Every Nigerian is a very important person in the eye of the law. That's why we all have rights, a lot of rights given to us by the Constitution. There's equality amongst men, amongst women.
I don't have a policeman guarding me
Well,
if I go.
the society determines who are...
The society or the police?
Society, not police. Will Nigerian determine who is an important person, who is a very important person, and who is a very, 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 very important person. And the police are servants of the people. If Nigerians say that Mr. A or Mr. B is a very important person, that anything that touches him will touch a majority of Nigerians, the police, being servants of the people, have to work in line. The police is Nigeria's police, not police Nigeria, but Nigeria's police. So as servants of the people, we play the game as Nigerians want it. Over the years, we have seen that those we call are very important persons have not been as responsible as very important persons. Why should one person want to have 60 policemen attached to him if he was responsible? Knowing full well that we don't have the police citizen ratio in this country is like 1 policeman to 600 people, which is very low. So he ought to know that he doesn't have to appropriate everything. But because of our poor philosophy of power, whereby people practice what they call prebendalism, where you want to have the whole Commonwealth to your house. So you know that you're not just a very important person, but a very, very important person, and you can appropriate what belongs to everybody. That is the corruption of it.
But the police has also played that game because they have willingly accepted for this to go on up until now. So is it okay to just put the ball at society?
Yes. You know what?
How did we even get here in the first place? I think my question to you is, how do I get police officers attached to me as a very important person? How do you determine very important persons, and what number do I get?
Now, ordinarily, you and I know who are very important persons.
I don't know that.
I know them.
I know them. Every Nigerian on the street claims to be
very
very
70.
important.
I know very many important people in this country.
Okay.
That if you touch them, Nigeria goes down.
Okay.
There are no government officials are very important persons. They play key roles in law and order, in our security and in our welfare. They're very important persons.
So we're talking about who the governors, just to give Nigerians an idea of who we're talking about.
There are some political actors.
Politicians in general?
I'm talking about political actors. I'm also a politician. There are political actors who are very important, who occupy key positions in the order of things in the political sector. There are players in the economic sector who occupy very key positions in the economy. There are traditional rulers who you don't allow them to be messed around with by people because they are influencers. They are significant fellows. Nigeria has determined them, and the police duty bound to make sure they are secured. But by and large, it is not a police problem, so to speak. Because I've known over the years, I was in police for 32 years, and there is no IG that comes that will not say he wants to withdraw people and put them back to court policing.
Exactly.
He may say that today, and the next day it is not done. Why? Because the VIPs you are talking about now, Nigerians and political actors in particular, will put pressure on the IG and make him have sleepless nights for that policy direction. And so because he's a Nigerian, he wants to retain his job, he has to play ball. Because they determine who becomes what. VIPs can tell you who gets what in this country. They can tell you whether you stay in your office or not. They can change your posting overnight. Because their interests, most of them are selfish. They don't care about whether the whole system collapses. So long as they themselves are safe. Okay. That is the poor philosophy of power I'm talking about.
Great. It does sound like the system has been flawed ab initio. But looking at the president's directive in the broader sense, now we have a little over 11,000 withdrawn and 50,000 to be recruited. How effective is this in fighting crime and criminality as we have it at the moment? And is it just enough to recruit and redeploy?
Nigeria has issues. If you want the police to be effective, you have to work for it. Starting from the recruitment process. 50,000 is a huge number. Where do you train them, for God's sake? There are no training institutions in Nigeria police, under Nigeria police, that is effective, that is good, that is habitable. All of them are eyesores, dilapidated. Some of them you touch with a finger, they'll collapse. Why? Coats of paint. Some ought to be green, but are now dark or green or red or yellow because too many paints to show a semblance of reformation. False. The institutions don't have facilities, no hostels, no what and what. Even the teaching staff are not adequate. They are not properly remunerated. A good number of them are frustrated. Where do you train the 50,000? Over the years, government has paid lip service to police reform. You think it's just moving somebody from here to here? No. Those institutions have been rotten for over the years. At a time, I think during President Goodluck Jonathan, a report, a medium, showed it that police college education was rotten. He thought it was an embarrassment to him. He went there. What he saw, I'm sure he must have shedded tears. Where policemen, police recruits on training, 10 of them will be eating the head of a fish, defecating in bushes, sleeping on beds without mattress in this country. The current president has also ordered an investigation, a visit to the training because he knows there's a crisis there. You can't train even 2,000 in those colleges and they'll come out well. 500 people in one classroom without microphone. How can you train them? Those figures are just there.
So you don't think it's implementable?
It can be implemented if we put our money where our mouth is. You can't just say 50,000 to be trained in NYC camp. That's a shame to Nigeria. That's a shame. There are police training institutions in almost every state of Nigeria. Put them in proper shape. Good proper remuneration to officers who are training them. And make sure the recruitment process is proper. Not the one somebody will stay in his house and write a note. Employ 20 from my village. They're my constituents, after all, they're men.
Is that something we've seen in the Nigerian police force history? People sit down in their houses and ask for people
I
to
can tell you of a truth. We've seen a case where somebody was rejected and somebody asked us, do you train horses? We say, yeah, we train horses. You train dogs? We train dogs. That man can be trained. But we have said that man is not trainable. He cannot be an efficient policeman. But they forced on the police. And then you blame the system, you blame the police. Police is a victim of poor governance in this country. It's a victim of poor philosophy of power in this country.
CP, before I let you go,
Yes.
on the flip side of this grim picture you paint, there are Nigerians who even believe that the force is not encouraging enough, and so it's not possible to even get 50,000 Nigerians want to join the force. Do you believe that?
We will get, once the portal is open now, you may get 2 million. The police job is a good job, but we have not made the condition good for it to be really good. People are in service and they earn peanuts. When they retire to penury. A good number have been demonstrating at National Assembly over months now. Nobody listens to them. They can go to hell as far as Nigerians care. But people want jobs, and the job gives you a lot of opportunities to develop and do quite a lot for yourself. So it is always oversubscribed, so to speak. So the 50,000, you may have 2 million coming for it. But the police must select the best materials, train them in good places, so they can come out and serve Nigerians. And insecurity that we have today may become a thing of the past if the police is properly placed.
A very good place to leave it, and we do thank you for your submission tonight.
Thank you so
CP
much.
Emmanuel Ojukwu retired as the former Force Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police Force. Thank you for your service as well.